But we're not like that, only interested in facts, making sure we get it right on the trust of the mass. Population's only strong when liberty's intact, and as a wise man said, if it's not, it will last. It was George Washington, by the way.
That was a gosh awful cue up. Go ahead, V.
Hey man, what's going on? How are you? Hey, Fee, is that you?
I'm very cold, but I've got my pink slippers on, and I've got my nice warm leggings to keep me nice and cozy. V.
Hey, Sage, this is the we're like totally flaming here. What was that, man?
Oh, that's my speaker going off.
Folks, it's a Tuesday morning over here over at roguenews.com, and I recommend all of you right now hit that subscribe button, show your love, your support for us, and
what's stopping you? What's stopping you?
Yeah, what is stopping you? What is stopping you? We know that there's at least 30,000 that come in through without subscribing, so come on and subscribe. Subscribe. And also check out our sponsors, our paid sponsors, folks. Paid sponsors. That's right. Check out remaincalm.net. Also check out my CBD edibles. Yes. MyCBDedibles.com. Whether you want some coffee, whether you want some. Now, we had a client testimony that you texted me this morning, CJ. A client testimony about. This is from Dan Lamorte over on Twitter, and this was his tweet. He said, "We started giving my dog CBD oil in the hopes that it would chill him out, and now we just wake up every morning to him listening to the Joe Rogan's podcast." What an amazing testimony!
That is just amazing.
What a testimony! How about this one? My dog was hyperactive and schizophrenic, constantly thinking that it's hearing voices on a daily basis. After giving my CBD edibles, CBD oil doggy treats, now the dog constantly and calmly listens to V and CJ in the morning.
There we go. I like it.
And that's from Jennifer Hoosie. What's it? These are great testimonies, CJ. Great testimonies, folks, about the wonders of CBD. And honestly, it's really great. They got the coffee. They got the granola bars, the almond pecan truffles. They're delicious. Go there and check it out, folks. CJ, we running any special over there?
We're preparing for a holiday. I don't want to say it because it's not even Halloween yet. But yeah, we're putting a Christmas promotion together. It's going to be a gift that you can get. It's going to be a all-inclusive to sample all of our products, packaged neatly that you can either gift it or take it to work, whatever you want to do with it. Yeah, so we're going to put a multi-pack together featuring all of our products for the holidays. So we're currently got that in development, V.
Excellent. And also, folks, check out the Watch Us Trade Room over at the cryptoschool.io. Go to the cryptoschool.io. Click on the Watch Us Trade link. That'll take you to the Slack room where Cowboy and Z will be trading. I think we're going to do a little live trading action. I'm going to run it by the guys, and maybe we'll take you guys inside the belly of the beast. We'll take you inside the boiler room of the trading room and show you what it looks like. We're going to show you how the big boys make the money. And look, $299.97 a month is, and most people, I'd say majority of people pay that with their profits they make. Most people pay for the entire year's worth of membership within a matter of a few days, or a week or so. So great opportunity here. Lots of people making all sorts of gains over there in the room. So check it out. The cryptoschool.io. And with that being said, Siege, let's crack a lacking, bro.
Hey V, good morning. Doing great. Definitely I love this time of year to watch the trees, the leaves changing color, and it's been sunny. Yeah, so I'm looking out my office window right now, and there's 3 or 4 different trees with different shades. Yeah, so I enjoy this time of the year. We're actually having a fall versus straight from summer to winter, V. So, but I did hear the Farmer's Almanac is calling for a pretty severe winter. I'm not sure if you believe in the whole Farmer's Almanac thing or not.
It's calling for a nasty, nasty, nasty winter, CJ. Nasty winter.
Yeah, and you get those what are they called? Northeasters?
Nor'easters, man.
Nor'easters, yeah.
Nor'easters for your keister, bro. It's no joke. And it's El Nino season, you know. And in celebration of El Nino season, CJ, we have drum roll, please. We have a migrant caravan that's 1,000 miles from our border.
Woohoo!
Just in time for El Nino season. Yay! In celebration of El Nino and his season, the migrant caravan will be arriving in the U.S. border shortly. Most likely their destination will be California, unless we put the military on the border with orders to shoot to kill, which I'm not averse to at this point. Oh, man. Dude, I mean, what's your take on that, Siege? We got a massive Hondurans coming our way, bro. All of them very high Q, very high IQ. All of them, all professionals with university degrees. They're the best and brightest of Honduras, CJ. The best and brightest. They're all coming here in mass. And the and some of them from the Guatemala, and the Nicaragua. They're all coming, Siege. They're all coming. They're coming right through the Mexican border. The best and brightest. What's your take?
Obviously everyone can pick up on exactly what's happening here, right? This is, no doubt it's 2 weeks out from the midterms. They're hoping to do this to try to amplify, Trump as a racist, and he doesn't care about the children. He doesn't care about the immigrant children. All this.
The immigrants don't care about their bloody children. They would be walking for 3 freaking months in the friggin' heat, putting their kids at all sorts of risk and harm's way. They don't care about their children. These people are psycho.
And if we're led to believe that they're marching and that there aren't like buses somewhere that along the way when the cameras are down that they don't load them up in buses and move them forward.
You got another thing coming to you.
Yeah,
so they've been 3 months.
So obviously, again, this is really, just controlled chaos is what it specifically is. And so when you do go to social media, you're seeing all these things now with, build the wall, and then you have, the left saying, oh, look, we got to, we haven't done anything. And the real reality, V, is, let's face it, is that when Obama was first elected, and this isn't the first time I've said this on this show, but he had every opportunity with the Democrats when they had control of the House and the Senate, his first 4 years, to fix immigration. And they chose not to. They chose to punt it. They chose not to be bold, to be brave out of the fear of.
Hold on, CJ, hold on. When somebody says that I wasn't trying to fix immigration, hold on. I was. I'm gonna get my Obama impersonation one day, dude.
No, it's good. It's solid. No,
I gotta get. I'm almost there. I'm about 75-80%. But hold on. I'm gonna get it.
And here's the other thing as well. So what would it take to get the DOJ to investigate where this funding came from? How are these people, being paid?
Jeff Sessions is.
It wouldn't take a whole lot to investigate that and determine, where exactly these funds are coming from, how the money's being, funneled. If it's an NGO, perhaps maybe funded by George Soros. I don't know. I'm just kind of going there. That why wouldn't you, label these people? Obviously, they're coming here to hopefully disrupt things.
Well, CJ, look, I really appreciate why you thinking like that, but me being Jeff Sessions, being head of this here Department of Justice, Justice Department that is beyond reproach, CJ, I have to investigate you. You are a CBD grower. You are in the cannabis industry, and I have to investigate you, CJ. You see, that's what I have to do. I don't have time to go investigate where George Soros is. George Soros, when the day comes, CJ, that George Soros puts his money into reefer, that's when I'm going to investigate him.
I mean, I don't care. Plant some pot on these people. Do something, right? Plant something.
That's the only thing that's going to get Jeff Sessions to move. Unless somebody goes out there and throws like a bunch of buds and puts some reefer inside the pockets of these migrants coming off the border. That's the only way Jeffy's going to get up to do anything. Reefer madness, Jeff Sessions. He's not motivated by anything else but reefer.
I think then he would act. I think that's the only. Yeah. So again, just controlled chaos to hopefully disrupt the elections, the midterms, because they know that they are completely out of ammunition. I think it's far too late. I think there's much more, momentum of people who are following the hashtag walk away, and they have really not offered anything going into this midterm except for disruption, putting obstacles in front of any type of progress. And I think the last thing people are waking up to understand is that, we're being manipulated. I think that's what it is, V, is that, some of the people that are, libertarians, some of your Democrats who do have a little bit of a level head in terms of, not so radicalized. I think that they understand they are being, manipulated by these actions, and they can only get away with it for so long, V. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. They can only get away with it for so long. And the whole thing is also, what's your take on the fact that they found a bomb in the mailbox at George Soros's house?
Well, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me, but I think in part it's probably planted news to try to save him or to protect him. That they're saying, hey, look, they're going after Soros as well. I mean, I think for the most part, unless it's probably staged. It probably could be some radical left guy saying, hey, we're gonna do this because we're gonna protect George Soros because he is in the news. People are talking about who's funding these people. So now they want to control the narrative to say, look, Soros is under attack now, and which I think that most people, any type of operation like that would probably be a lot more sophisticated. It would be a lot more covert in terms of if they wanted something to happen to Soros, they could easily do that. V.
Yeah. Absolutely right, man. Absolutely right. It's funny to say the least. Siege, where do you want to start, man? What do you want to pick apart real quick?
Well, I think we should start with the whole new, axis of evil, part 2, and everyone remember that, the axis of evil, Iran, the Saudis, and the axis of evil.
CJ, the thing is, CJ, there's an axis of evil. And I told my advisor, I said, it's like the time that talking about tribal sovereignty, because it's a sovereign entity, CJ. It's a sovereign entity. And the axis of evil. Can you tell me, CJ, about the axis of evil? That's a terminology that I made up.
Well, we're basically looking at the axis of evil part 2, and this is Russia, China, and anyone basically that refuses U.S. sanctions or anything else that they try to put up front. And this is becoming dangerous. It truly is. And I'm going to say this, and it's going to upset a lot of people. But the stronger that Trump grows in terms of popularity and his poll numbers, the more justifies the movement towards war. They did it with 9/11, with George W. Bush to, get him out there, down there, and soon the people in Iraq are gonna hear us from here. They do these things and manipulate. So the higher his popularity gets, the stronger his poll number gets. It's actually inciting. It's actually allowing this to continue. Where I don't want war. I don't want any type of outbreak of war with Russia and China. Putin said it right. Putin came out the other day and said, you know what? If someone if someone uses nuclear weapons on us, I'm fine with it, because I know that we are already saved. I already know that we are in the righteousness of the Lord, and that we will be saved. So the people that do those crimes, that use those weapons, will be the ones that go to hell. I feel the same way, V.
Absolutely, 1,000%. You can't look. Here's the deal, folks. There is a God. There's a God in the universe, and I could prove that to you. That's a long other story, and it's a whole other debate. But believe me, man, I take great joys in ripping atheists to pieces. It's a lot of fun. Evolutionists are quite easy to debunk. I believe in God. Does that mean I'm an organized religion, Bible thumping guy? Hell to the no. Hell no. Hell no. But I do believe in God. And the point is this. Okay, I believe in the higher authority. I believe in, some people call it karma. Some people would say that payback is a bitch. What goes around comes around. But I will tell you one thing. You cannot That's my southern preacher right there, CJ. You cannot go to third world countries, and you cannot bomb them. Yeah, you can't bomb them to the Stone Age and not expect the God of righteousness to smite thee. Basically, I'm really bugged out today, man. Must be that salmon locks on a toasted everything bagel. Maybe that's what got me.
I had an early and light dinner, so don't talk food right now because I'm starved.
Dude, what I had toasted everything bagel with sriracha and jalapeno laced cream cheese with delicious smoked salmon right on top with fresh cut cucumbers, sweet red onions, and delectable crisp tomatoes all together on that toasted, yummy New York bagel. Siege was heaven. All right, back to the article. You can't have a body count like what we have in this country and expect not, I mean, how long are we going to live in ignorance, right? How long are we going to live in ignorance? How are we so easily manipulated as children? How are we so easily played? How are we so easily gamed? How we so easily believe fictitious figures, facts, fictitious stories, fake realities, all of it, folks. And we're manipulated, folks. There's no doubt about it. We're manipulated by those who are malevolent and those that are benevolent. Because sometimes, folks, a lie is a good thing both ways. Sometimes, folks, a lie does serve a purpose both ways, for good and bad, on a geopolitical scale. Think about it. Ain't no damn way we got a 3.8% unemployment rate. Ain't no damn way. Ain't no damn way that the stock market makes any sort of sense to 25,000 plus. Ain't no damn way. Ain't no damn way that the dollar is getting stronger. Ain't no damn way. Ain't no damn way a company that makes no money like Tesla, like Amazon, is out there valued at $1 trillion. Only in the upside down world do we have something like that. Only in the dark place do we have something like that. Only in the phantom economy would such things even exist. And all the while, we're played to by the Pied Pipers of globalism, of nationalism, and all sorts of isms. Your only two choices is tyranny hard or tyranny light. And that, to me, folks, is not a choice. That, to me, is not a choice. Taiwan may be about to get hot in the next year after last night's commander-in-chief's ambiguous message on defense treaties. One of the most excellent followers who many... Okay, he said this. The whole article is a science fiction of, oh, this could happen, and oh, that could happen, and oh, we could be hit with an asteroid tomorrow. Just sit back and watch the hands that are dealt and how they are played. The article is either sci-fi or false news, your choice. U.S. to send warships through the strait again. Yesterday, the Zero Hedge posted great peace in the latest provocation of Beijing. U.S. plans new warship passes through the Taiwan Strait, bringing our attention to the following Reuters article. The United States is considering a new operation to send warships through the Taiwan Strait. U.S. officials tell Reuters a mission aimed at ensuring free passage through the strategic waterway, but which risks heightening tensions with Syria. The United States is now considering a new option to send warships through the Taiwan Strait. U.S. officials told Reuters a mission aimed at ensuring free passage through the strategic waterway. Bolton, the maniacal mustache, has close professional and personal ties to Taipei. According to an investigative report by the Washington Compost, Bolton was on the payroll of the Taiwan government before joining the Bush administration. Bolton received $30,000 for quote-unquote research papers on UN membership issues involving Taiwan. At the same time, he was promoting diplomatic recognition of Taiwan before various congressional committees. In 1999, Bolton, speaking as an AEI scholar, said that diplomatic recognition of Taiwan would be just the kind of demonstration of U.S. leadership that the region needs and that many of its people hope for. The notion that China would actually respond with forces of fantasy. Bolton joined a prominent group of neoconservatives and traditional conservatives who signed a statement jointly sponsored by the project. And here you go, folks. There's a beautiful, beautiful team, a wonderful think tank by the name of Project for a New American Century. How do you like them? The same assholes who wrote basically the playbook for 9/11 on what happened on 9/11 and how it was going to go down. The Heritage Foundation then lambasted the Clinton administration for its failure to offer an unequivocal support of Taiwan. Folks, here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. Now, a lot of people would say, there's a lot of things happening on tariff and trade, and it's all a show, this, that, and the other. Chinese ain't happy. Okay, when you get out of the message boards, of Qville, when you leave Qville and you get into Reality USA is a different place. Reality USA, there's no t-shirts that says where we go one, we go all. Reality USA, there is no secret arrests being made by on thousands of elites all over the world. Reality USA doesn't have any of that. Reality USA is this, folks. We are entangled in a trade war that is right now affecting, through financial warfare, the stock markets of the Chinese. Through subterfuge, through asymmetric actions, through market manipulations, the stock market is being affected in the Shanghai Stock Exchange. It's being affected. Through the trade war that is accelerating, tens of billions of products, and at this point, hundreds of billions of dollars worth of products, are being hit with tariffs. It is affecting American businesses here. I'm talking about heavy industry, but some of the corn farmers and whatnot, okay? And on the larger scale, on top of this, which is fine. In some regard, we're going to do a little tit for tat. I get it. Get to the negotiating table, renegotiate a new deal. I'm all for it. I get it. But when you have some sort of a trade war going, and then on the same time you are skirting the Strait of Malacca with warships, which is the only viable corridor for energy procurement for the country of China. And when you're out there provoking and provocateering and shooting your mouth off and running ships through the South China Seas, which is integral trade point, again, pissing off the Chinese. Then when you're out there on the Straits of Taiwan, again, the Sea of Japan, in the Straits of Taiwan, and you're flying your ships through there. You're flying your ships through those corridors. You're doing all these things, again, showing that you have some sort of diplomatic brownie points to score with the Taiwanese. When you have people like John the Maniacal Mustache Bolton, when you have people like Peter Navarro, a neocon and a China-phobic, and the only thing they see is whatever their blinders tell them, you have a problem. Because these sorts of things don't end well. China, if you're looking for a military response from China, they're not going to give it to you unless they're attacked. You're not going to get one. But if you think for 1 second that our politicians, our leaders, who 99% of them are nothing but a bunch of friggin' attorneys. That's what. Look at the makeup of our political leadership. They're all lawyers. Like 96% of them, all lawyers. They're all law. I'm a lawyer. I'm a paid professional scumbag, a liar. Not all lawyers. I'm talking about the ones that are seeking higher power. You compare that to the leadership of China. Majority of them, scientists, engineers. You compare our leadership, which is a bunch of scum-sucking lawyers, career politicians, to the leadership that's in Russia, who are mostly scientists, engineers, military guys, as well as captains of industry. You see, we're kind of lopsided. So these lawyers think it's a good idea to have this type of behavior. Folks, this is not a smart thing. This is a provocative thing. And let me tell you something, folks. we are going down a very slippery slope. In 2009, 2010, I coined a term called currency war. It was flouted through a few investment houses here in New York. Later on, it was picked up by a Brazilian economist, and then he gets credited. But that term was something that I wrote in 2009. Currency war. Currency wars lead to what? Trade wars. And when goods don't cross borders, folks, historically, armies do. Currency wars is a race to the bottom. Is the race to the bottom. Currency wars lead to trade wars. Trade wars lead to what? Shooting wars. I'm not saying that this is going to be World War III. But don't be surprised. But if a skirmish happens, a little skirmish, maybe a ship goes down, maybe a plane goes down, maybe there's a little shootout. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's cool, but I understand. I understand. It's like Chris Rock, CJ. You remember Chris Rock? He had his comedy special.
The one on Netflix?
Nah, man, that's new politically correct Chris Rock. Back when Chris Rock, the golden age of Chris Rock, when he was so political, bigger and blacker.
Yes.
He's talking about OJ, right? Mm. He goes, he's talking about how OJ, he's talking about Ron Goldman. He goes, how do you feel if some guy was riding around in your Ferrari that you bought, some guy sleeping with your ex-wife, some guy's doing all this. I'm not saying he should have killed her, but I understand. Now, how would you feel if you're in a country that you're in a trade war? How would you feel if you're in a country there's a currency war and your competitor is the biggest manipulator of currency on the entire planet, but yet accuses you of manipulating the currency? How would you feel? How would you feel if the very lifelines of your economy that keeps your people happy and in check and living a quality of life and keeps your military moving and keeps your economy moving, the very lifeblood of your country, the oil supplies, how do you feel if those are being threatened on a daily basis? How would you feel if this said country is cozying up to your enemies? How do you feel? I'm not saying that you should attack, but I understand. Folks, this is the same crap we did with the Japanese. This is the same crap we did with the Japanese. You think the Japanese woke up one day and be like, we have a good idea. We will go bomb Pearl Harbor, United States. We will destroy them. We will get them in the Pearl Harbor with our torpedo. Harimasu. Mushi mushi. You think the Japanese woke up one day and be like, we have a good idea, great idea. We will attack the United States. Did they say, hey guys, let's just go ahead and galvanize an entire population against us? Let's just go ahead and try to awaken a sleeping giant so they can kick the living snot out of us? By the way, guys, we're already fighting a war on our Western front. We're already encased in multiple battles all across Asia. How about we get a far-reaching sea warfare with some island hopping involved with one of the largest industrial powers in the world? How about we do that? You think the Japanese got up one morning and did that? What happened? Well, Japan decided to do something we like to do, which is called empire expansion. See, we don't call it empire expansion. We call it, we're here to spread democracy. We like to hide it under that euphemism, right? And we're not making people march into the Bhutan death camp, but what we do is strip them of their resources. We give them GMO seed. We frack the hell out of their water tables. We put them in unbalanced trade deals. We put all sorts of wealth extraction schemes in place. And we put them in a marginally worse place than they began. But we don't call that empire building. That's been sanitized. It's been whitewashed. It's called democracy. That's why we have something that the Romans would salivate over. We have something that the Britons would salivate over. And that's over 934 bases in 139 some odd countries. But it's not empire. It's democracy. Right. Right. You see, when we encircled Japan, we sanctioned the shit out of them. We hit them with so many tariffs. We made it impossible that they can no longer get oil to keep their economy and their war machine going. We pushed them to the brink. We took the knife, we put it to their throat, we put it to the wall. And then you know what we did? We waited. We waited. And for months and months and months and months and months on end, we got all sorts of reports. All sorts of coded intercepts started coming in. They're going to possibly attack Pearl Harbor. They might do a strike on Pearl Harbor. That's a possibility. They could possibly hit Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor is a big target. Man, we knew that. That's why we had radar stations up in Pearl Harbor. What happened? A month before the attacks, all the radar stations were taken down. FDR knew about it. We have the Admiral Yamamoto's communique. Yamamoto said, we're gonna strike the Pacific Fleet. We're gonna strike America and Pearl Harbor and deal a death blow to the Pacific Fleet. That was the only option. That was the only option. Was to deal a death blow to the Pacific Fleet, that they can get into a skirmish war with the Americans, which will hopefully buy them enough time to get their oil resupplies going. That was the whole thing. That was the whole thing. So the entire thing is this. We're doing the same thing here. What's the difference? See, it's one thing just to be engaged in a country that has you're getting into a trade war. But when you're starting going after the very choke points of its energy security, that's a problem. That's an issue. That's a problem.
Yeah, be very, very well said. And see, that's the difficult thing. That's the very difficult thing of where we are, because if we are to believe that the dollar is the root, the vehicle that allows the corruption, that allows the greed, that allows the criminal banksters, then we have to understand that these sanctions, these tariffs, this aggression against China and Russia are wrong. And that's what divides the patriots, because, we're some of us are being conditioned that China is the evil, China is the aggressor, that we need to do something against China. But primarily that's because of the dominance that we want to see the dollar, continue. So if, as painful as a transition, would be in regards to the dollar, losing its reserve status, as painful as that would be,
It's necessary.
It's necessary to end the cabal, to end the corruption, the evil that exists. And so that's where we lie. So not only are the patriots divided against the left, they're also divided in the middle of those two things of China, Russia are the evil, and I think that they lean more towards China being the evil, saying, oh, they're persecuting Christians and they're doing all these things and they have the largest in prison. I'm not saying that, again, I've said this numerous times, I'm not saying that China is,
but the funny thing is, we have the largest prison population in the entire planet.
So yeah, and so what I'm getting at, that's what we have to decide. We can't have it both. We can't have it that China's all evil and not understanding that it's because we want to continue the dollar dominance. And that's what I would really like for people to understand. And the other part that, and I'm not sure why this has happened, is that if we are led to believe that behind closed doors, that all these things are being gathered up, all the prosecutions and the indictments and everything, if we're led to believe that, and I'm not saying it's not true, if we're led to believe that all these things are happening in the background, then we also have to potentially believe as well that Donald J. Trump could be controlled opposition. And you don't have to agree with me. Nobody does. You don't have to agree with me. I don't care. But if we're going to be open to believe that all these things are happening in the background and these things are happening, then why can't we believe that as well? And then take a look at the actions that are happening. I mean, right as we get through Kavanaugh and this entire divide and conquer rule of this is happening through the chaos, and the Department of Health and Human Services comes out during this fiasco because, again, there's not enough chaos. There's not enough chaos happening. So what other chaos do they throw in? Oh, the administration is considering, breaking down the gender identity based upon birth, which I don't disagree with. I think that's determined, but that just adds more chaos, more fuel to the fire, and keeps us so distracted of the bigger picture, the things that are happening globally and geopolitically. And it's getting dangerous. And that article in regards to what's happening with China, it's getting dangerous. And now we see what's happening with the Saudis, and I would love to see the US part from the Saudis and the corruption things that are happening there. But more importantly, why is it happening? Why is it escalating now? Is it escalating because a journalist was killed, but yet we ignore the war crimes of the Saudis in Yemen? So you're telling me that one person's life is more valuable than the hundreds of thousands of children and innocent people that have died in Yemen at the hands of the Saudis? So now the Saudis have done wrong. Now the Saudis are really pissed the US off, right? I mean, how stupid are we as a society? How stupid are we that we allow these things to happen without calling out the administration to say, okay, well, you're willing now to part completely ways over one journalist's death, but what about the administration just signed off on the continuation of the war in Yemen, that we provide the weapons, we provide air cover, the evil that we do. That's the United States doing that, right? I mean, that's so again, as a society, are we going to allow those things to continue, but in the background being promised that things are happening? That there's things around the corner, mass arrest, and these things are occurring. So I think we all just need to pause for a moment and step away and look at the reality of the world that's happening. And there's another great article talking about what the Saudis are doing with LNG, with Russia, and that's another clear picture of why the escalation with the Saudis, because they are brokering these deals in the back, because again, we're seeing a major realignment now globally in terms of geopolitics.
Right. I want to touch base real quick. I mean, you brought up an amazing compare and contrast, right? Now we want to have our panties in a bunch because some 2-bit journalist who's a nobody died. Now you want to have your panties in a bunch. Kashkogi's daddy was hacked to pieces. Who gives a rat's ass? At the end of the day, what happened to Kashkogi, if he was hacked to pieces, they put him in a wood chipper, they put him in a ninja blender, blended him up, and used him as chum for sharks. Who gives a rat's at the end of the day? Folks, we went into Iraq. How many children died in Iraq, CJ, because of our intervention?
Oh gosh, I can't remember.
500,000?
Yeah, at least.
And what did Madeleine Albright said? She said it was what?
It was worth it. It was worth it.
Now it's coming out. Saudi airstrikes in Yemen hit facilities providing water to hundreds of thousands of facing cholera epidemic. The UN said Houdia is one airstrike away from an unstoppable cholera epidemic. The port city through which most of the food supplies enter Yemen is under attack by the Saudi-led coalition fighting the Houthi rebels. Airstrikes carried out by recent days by the Saudi-led coalition, is hold on one second. Airstrikes carried out recently by the Saudi-led coalition fighting the Houthi rebels in the Yemen struck the facilities backed by Saudi air power. This is 600,000 people. And again, it's the innocent women and children, especially the children, that are getting slaughtered in this mess. And we want to get our panties in a bunch because of Khashoggi's dead. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world, man. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. And at the same time, now the Saudis are getting to LNG deals with who? Who are they getting LNG deals with? Russia. Not us, Russia. So what the hell is really going on? This type of BS needs to stop, and it needs to stop soon. And that's what I got to say, Siege. I'm at the end of the program. Siege, what we got lined up today, bro?
Well, got a message earlier from Harley. We're going to be moving him to Friday at his request. So let's get with Dex and see if he's available for 2 p.m. And then if not, we can circle back to the trading guys as well and see when.
Yeah, let's get the trading guys in, and we'll do Dex on Thursday.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
That works.
All right, buddy. I'll catch you guys later. Folks, thank you all for listening and subscribe, like, comment, and share. With that being said, Kuko, we are over and out.